Hello. Today I'm actually going to be working on the worm bin, and I want to show what I'm doing for the worm bin. I've made a couple of shorts of the worm bin that I created this summer, and it just turns super cold fast, so I need a way to winterize it. Right now I've gone through about a fourth of the worm castings I got from the worm bin this summer, and I've gathered all the worms that I could out of it, so I'm going to show what I'm going to be doing for a simple indoor worm bin that's really the bin itself is under 30 bucks, maybe a little bit over once you tie in the coconut core that I used for bedding, but it's not super expensive. So I'm going to show you what my plan is. So I bought these two totes from Home Depot. The top one here, the 7-gallon, it was just over $9, probably closer to 10, and this one down here, the 12-gallon, was just over 16. The idea that I have of this is to have one container hold the worms in and put the stuff that I'm going to compost. The other one will act as a way to catch all the leachate that comes out of the worm bin. What I'm actually going to do is inverted from what I'm showing right here. I'm going to take this tote, which is actually kind of heavy because I already have a portion of my worms in it. But this tote right here, I noticed when I was in the store just playing around, when I popped off the lid, that's where I'm keeping the worms that I've separated so far. I haven't put any holes in this yet, and I need to make sure that these ones can get air. But I'm going to take this tote and actually have it as the bottom and this one on the top. They actually lock in really well when they're set up like this, so I'm not too worried about the top one tipping over. I'm going to take and drill a whole bunch of holes in the bottom of this one with a 1/4-inch bit, and then place some weed barrier down, and that would allow the water to leach through. I'm also then going to come up here, and in all of these spots up here, I'm going to drill larger holes for air holes right here, and just on all of these spots all the way around, and that will allow air to go through. I'm hoping if I put enough holes in the bottom, that will allow the air through the gaps right here. As you can see, there's a gap that I can put my finger right through there. The same on this side. That will allow air to come up through it, so the night crawler, well, not night crawlers, these are actually straight composting worms. The worms will actually do really well and get enough air. They seem to have enough air in the bin that I did outside, but once again, almost the whole bottom was gone. Just to show you, as I started sorting these out on Saturday, just before it snowed a little bit, I didn't realize how many worms I had. And as I said, I'll show you the rest of the castings. This is only the worms that I've got out of 1/4 of my container. Haven't hit them yet. They're way down low. You start to see some right there. And there's probably, this is a bad sample size over here, but when I was cleaning that one out, I probably dumped thousands of worms in here. Now we're starting to see more right in there, right up along there, all over there. And I'm hoping to keep them through the winter because I want to be able to sell the worm castings next spring. I might actually take some of this worm castings I have and go ahead and put them on now. But first I'm going to show you what I did to sort these out, and then I'm going to go ahead and drill holes and kind of show how I'm putting this all together and how I'm going to create the bed. So right here in this black tote or tub, this, you can see it goes right up to there. I can't read the numbers in the dark. I know there's numbers on here. I can actually see how many gallons. Looks like it's 12 gallons of worm castings. This is everything that I had already went through and strained out from the worms. In order to empty that big bin that I had to put some of them in this this is a 12-gallon tote right here. So I had to put some in here and some in a 5-gallon bucket, because under this piece of wood is this tote right here that's almost completely full, and lots of worms are escaping. Makes me kind of nervous. I might go through and snag these off because I don't want to lose any, but they might be getting too cold. But anyway, I still have to go through this one and gather these up. So what I do is I first just kind of rake off the top. I'll actually show it in here. If I was to get the worms in here, I would slowly just go like this and just rake the top of the worm castings all up to a pile and check that pile. And once I have them into the pile, then I'd put that pile through the strainer, because obviously there's some big sticks and stuff that got put in here because I was feeding them other compost. And then I would take the worms and put them into a separate bucket. I'm so surprised at how many are just trying to climb out. And then that's how I would go through it. And then once I ran them through this 1/4-inch screen, I would usually find a few more, so I would just gently kind of rub my hand across it, just like that, wearing gloves the whole time. And I was able to collect, as I said, thousands of worms and put it in that bucket. I'm going to have so many more here that I'm not going to know what to do with them. But that's how I cleaned them out, and that's how I'm going to start this one. But now I'm going to go drill the holes in that one and get it ready to create my next indoor worm composting bin for the winter. So I drilled the holes in the bottom of this. I noticed when I drilled the holes in the bottom that it kind of pokes out right there. So I assume most liquid's going to get down to this area. So I put some more holes on that part. Since the worms are crawling out of the box, I may have to get some thinner screen to put actually over the holes that I was going to put up here, and I still may need them. But right now I'm not going to worry about that. What I did do is I took this one and I put a whole bunch of holes in the top. Can't really tell from that side. Let's go on this side. So in all the little squares that was in here, I just took the drill and went down through and popped a hole through it. I think that should be enough to let it go through. I then went and got some weed barrier. This stuff's great because the worms can't get through it. So this will help keep them in and keep calling through the holes. And I'm just going to take that and lay it down here in the bottom. I may have to cut it so it fits in a little bit better, because they will definitely try to climb underneath that. But that's going to be the part that I'm going to put their bed in. And for their bed, since I already have lots of worm castings in there, I'm not too concerned about doing the paper, but that's supposed to help. But I'm going to be using some wet coconut core, and I have some ready to go. I'm going to go grab that. So this is the wet coconut core. The little white dots that you see in there, those are actually eggshells. I ground up some eggshells and put in here to give them some grit. They probably should have more than enough with what's in that box as well. There's a lot. But I'm going to go ahead and just take this. I use this bucket to hydrate it in and dump it in. Wow. Level it out just a little bit. And get what's left of this bucket in here. And that will give them a good 2 inches of nice bedding, the ones that really want to tunnel down. And then I will go ahead and dump the worms in here and set it up in my basement as a place to keep it nice and warm, yet not overly hot, and keep it nice and damp as well. Okay. So this is the worms. Now that I've dumped them in there, you can see a huge amount right there and a huge right there. They've already started digging down because they didn't want to be up on the top exposed in the light. You can really see them going crazy there. So now I'm going to just go place it down in my basement with this toad on top of the other one, and we'll see how this goes this winter. Once again, I'm really surprised at how well it turned out this summer. I just found these worms inside of my main compost bin and transferred them to the wooden boxes, and before I knew it, they became this massive amount of worms. So this is where I'm going to be putting the worm bin for now. This is down in my basement, just out of the way, and I'll just come down once or twice a week, check on it, make sure that everything's okay. I am a little bit worried about aeration, so I might actually get what's called a compost screw. It's a lot more gentle than most ways, and just come, well, you can't see in there, but just come and put it down in and lift the worms up to get some air into it until I can find out something better to do. But hopefully I can keep them going all winter long, and I'll have a lot of worm castings left for, or created for this spring when I go to start planting plants and starting to pot plants. I think I'm going to have plenty of them left over from just this first clean out. Anyway, that's my worm bin. I thank you for watching if you stayed through the whole thing. If you're interested in making your own, look around online. There's a lot of other instructions out there for this. I might do a more complete how to build your own with talking about the bedding and getting everything going. But once again, as I said in the video, this was somewhat done by accident. I don't know how the red wigglers got into my compost bin in the first place. I have some ideas. I believe some of the manure that I was picking up at a local farm had them in it, which makes it so they just kind of appeared, and I just gathered them up from there and put them in the box. If you really like what I'm doing on this channel, please like and subscribe. I know I've been doing a lot more shorts recently than actual longer videos. That's just because they literally take no time to put together, and I get a lot more views with them. But nonetheless, I really like sharing the longer stuff because I feel like that's the meat of the channel and really what I want to do with it, and not just the flashy, hey, check out this quick clickbait type title. Though I think that they have their place for getting across quick information that people normally wouldn't want to sit through a whole video and get on. But thank you again for watching, and until the next video, I'll see you around.